Hello Slashers, Abrupt here, and welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, I'll be doing a review for Chucky episode 8, which is the finale. I thought I would do a review for this episode and then do a review for the whole season overall, as well as an ending explained video for those that want some explaining in regards to the ending. So with that said out of the way, let's get to this video. So this season finale was batshit crazy. I noticed a lot of things wrong with it that I had an issue with, but at the same time, I still really liked it. There were a lot of inspirations coming from The Shining, you know, the film that's based on the Stephen King novel. For example, how some of the scenes are shot, the music, etc. Which, by the way, the music is really good in this episode. As well as, I think the acting really shines best in this episode. I think some of the writing's pretty good, but there's also some writing that can be worked on. Like, there's explanations to things that are left out that kind of bothers me a little bit. The acting's good overall. I think all the people in this episode did a pretty decent job. Chucky's dialogue really shines in this episode too. Chucky has some great moments in this episode. And not to mention, the title card is by far the best one out of the whole entire season. With all the Chucky dolls and stuff inside of the good guy boxes. Man, that was such a great little title card. And not to mention back there, you see my little Tots good guy doll? Yeah, he is now a screen use prop now. I mean, that specific doll over there wasn't actually used in the Chucky TV series, but the Tots dolls are used in this episode, which is pretty sick. We got some really cool references, like for example, Gwenda is referenced once. However, we do not see Gwen or Gwenda actually pop up in the series, but it's sounding like maybe we'll see them in season 2, which I would really like. But Tiffany mentions that, quote unquote, they have exquisite taste. I think she's referred to Gwenda, but could also be referred to Gwen at the same time because of the gender fluid stuff and everything. Which is kind of weird, because if you think about it, at the end of Seeing Chucky, Glenn is a 5-year-old boy and Gwenda is a 5-year-old girl. And so their souls are split up, and this could also ring the question, was the soul splitting discovered around back in Seed? Because if you really think about it, both the personalities of each character are within Gwen and Gwenda, separately. And Gwen is the goody two-shoes, and I'm assuming he doesn't have like the moments where he switches back anymore at least. And then Gwenda's just a bad fucking kid. So it rings the question how all that works. And not to mention Miss Fairchild, man. Real quick, I think that she takes in Jake and Devin like she adopts them. But Miss Fairchild, by far, not Gwenda. I already have a feeling that's not Gwenda. It'd be interesting, but it just wouldn't work within the timeline of everything. But overall, I really like this episode, but at the same time, some parts of it were a letdown. Like, I thought we were gonna get some multiple Chucky mayhem, like a bunch of Chuckies going around Hackensack murdering people and just causing a bunch of chaos, but that wasn't it at all. They just got sent off at the end, and from there, we got like one fake out where we thought that Andy could have possibly died, but then, you know, we don't see Kyle for the rest of the episode until her hand is put on the tree, which I'm pretty sure that's Kyle. Some people are saying that it might just be Andy or it might be Detective Mike Norris, but it makes the most sense to me at least if it's Kyle. But the scenes at the theater where like Chucky's fucking stabbing people in the ass under the seats, butt fucking them with a knife, just creating that ass blood, that ass juice blood. Man, that's something that I never thought I would see in a Chucky movie or show. But that scene was pretty cool. And then we get a really cool monologue at one point, which I thought was really neat, about Chucky. He's talking about how he's going to invade America and all this other stuff, and I thought that monologue coming from Chucky was pretty fucking sick, if you ask me. But we get some really crazy moments from Tiffany and Nika. Like, at the end, Nika just gets all of her fucking limbs cut off, and Man, that shocked me. I felt really bad for that character. Why they gotta do that character so dirty? Hopefully they'll cut some slack off of her. She don't deserve all that. We also get Chucky talking about Dambula, which is pretty interesting because Chucky never talks that highly about Dambula ever. So we get like a scene of him doing that as he's trying to kill Jake, and I think that's really cool that we get to see some of him doing that because Voodoo's not acknowledged that much in the series like it should be. Which, speaking of which, we still need to get that backstory on John Bishop, and they never gave it to us, unfortunately. And so, hopefully next season they'll give us some information on John Bishop and some information on the stuff with Eddie Caputo, because he's like seen in that one flashback, and he's never mentioned again. So hopefully they do more of that. And they also leave out the stuff with Sarah Pierce. And there's just some things that they leave out of the backstory that I'm very disappointed in. But there is a scene where right after Tiffany says that Chucky's dick is tiny and he gasps, which I thought was pretty funny, she reveals a big plot twist that she was the reason why Detective Mike Norris was chasing him at the beginning of Child's Play 1. And obviously that pisses Chucky off, but we get that big plot twist and it's pretty shocking. But we never get more information on Sarah Pierce or anything like that, which is pretty disappointing. But something we do get is the Tiffany doll making her grand return, which I was waiting for and hoping for all season, and it happened. And man, I got super excited when that happened. I was like, oh my god, finally she comes back. And she gets to meet Andy Barkley, and that whole scene was amazing. We do at the end, however, after Jake and Lexi and Devin are at the cemetery, like paying respects to Logan Wheeler, Bree Wheeler, and Junior Wheeler. Right after all that happens, Chucky like gives us a recap on the whole entire season and pretty much does Deadmeat's job for him and counts up all the kills and whatnot, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Obviously, he did miss some kills, like he didn't like mention like the times that he died and whatnot, but it was still really neat and a little humorous. I wonder if every season's gonna end off that way, like it's kind of like a fourth wall break a little bit. But overall, I just want to talk about all that stuff. I thought that this episode was pretty good for the most part, but there's some things that kind of bugged me about it, obviously. Like, I felt like there's gonna be more, but we got less. They left out some explanations I wish they would have like put in there. The ending kind of ended abruptly, like it had a very abrupt ending, and that kind of bothered me a little bit. So we have to wait until 2022 because, by the way, we are getting a season 2 of this series, so that's pretty exciting. The series did pretty well, so I'm not surprised at all. Of course they're gonna do another season. I just hope that's not rushed along, and I hope the writing's good. The writing in this series for the most part was decent, but at times they just kind of moved along too fast, or there's just this left out explanation for things, and that kind of bothered me a bit. I think that the episode 8 is about like an 8, I would say. I like this episode. It just, you know, there's some things that I would have done differently if I was the one making it. I liked this episode though. I do like where the Chuckies are talking to each other and they're pretty much asking questions about what kind of victims they could kill and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny, how they're like going back and forth. I wonder if like in the future Chucky's gonna have like a disagreement with himself at one point or something. Cause Brad Dourif even mentioned in the Inside Chucky episode 8 that he thinks, this is not confirmed by the way, he thinks that Chucky might realize that he has made too many dolls and will start killing his own kind, which would be pretty interesting to see, or just altogether we might just see a brawl between the two, kind of like a Chucky Tiffany brawl like for Bride, except it's two Chuckies, which would be pretty interesting to see, honestly. But all around, a lot to talk about in this review regardless. I had a lot of fun reviewing all of these episodes and talking about what I think is going to happen next. Though a lot of my predictions were not true, it's still fun to speculate and give ideas what I think will happen next. After all, those are what theories are for. They don't always have to be right, but they can just be fun little things to think about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, definitely subscribe to become Slasher. All sorts of main links in my merch. Description below. Thank you guys so much for watching my review on Chucky episode 8, the finale. man, I'm happy that the series has wrapped because now I can focus on other stuff. There's a lot of things I've been wanting to focus on but haven't had the chance to because I've been busy with this series. So I'm going to try to get ahead on all that before Season 2 rolls in. But I just hope that Season 2 is not rushed. We will probably be getting an explanation to everything that happens, you know, at the end of Season 1. But I'm out of here. I'll catch you on next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget, guys, to keep on slashing.